Where do I even begin to describe the 90s? The 1990s marked a transformative decade for movies and pulp culture. It witnessed the rise of blockbuster films like Jurassic Park, Titanic, and The Matrix, which pushed boundaries in special effects and storytelling. Cult classics such as Pulp Fiction and The Shawshank Redemption also emerged, reshaping cinematic norms. Pop culture icons like Britney Spears, the Spice Girls, and Nirvana defined the era's music scene, while TV shows like Friends and The Simpsons became cultural touchstones. The proliferation of the internet and advancements in technology further fueled the globalization of pop culture, making it more accessible and influential worldwide. Overall, the 1990s left a lasting impact on movies and pop culture, shaping trends and influencing future generations. Now, if you ask me, the one big thing about the 90s was that we didn't have the internet, at least at the level that we have it now. The jokes and the memes that we currently have today, we kind of take for granted. Back then, quote or a funny line from a funny comedy movie had to last us a pretty good while. We would quote these movies so much that they just became ingrained into our brains and part of who we are now.
Hey everybody, I'm Joe. Welcome back to Movie of the Week. Now we could do a whole entire hour-long video talking about the 90s and movies from the 90s, but that's not what we're here for today. Today we're going to be focusing specifically on 90s comedies. The one thing that I think that sets apart 90s comedies from the past is that 90s comedies happened at a time when we could re-watch them over cable and movie rentals, VHS, DVDs. These movies were ingrained in our memories, thus becoming way more likely to be referenced in our normal everyday lives. So let's not waste any more time, let's jump right into these 90s comedies for this week's Movie of the Week.
The first movie on the list is Ace Ventura: Pet Detective. Now, this was Jim Carrey's big breakthrough role for him. A lot of people got introduced to Jim Carrey from Ace Ventura. Some of us may remember him from his heyday back in A Living Color. However, the majority of folks first learned who he was and his type of comedy from this movie, Ace Ventura. The whole premise of this movie is that the Miami Dolphins mascot, Snowflake the Dolphin, is kidnapped prior to the Dolphins making the Super Bowl, which is comedy in itself. So the Miami Dolphins hire Ace Ventura, the pet detective, to help find her. The next movie on the list is the Farrelly Brothers comedy, There's Something About Mary. This movie was a big hit back in the late 90s. It's a romantic comedy about a guy named Ted who falls in love with a girl named Mary back in high school. Unfortunately for Ted, he never got the opportunity to go out with her. And if you ask myself and the rest of the guys that I knew back in high school, this is more of a documentary than it is an actual story of fiction. And like most comedies, the ick factor is ignored after Ted hires a private investigator to track Mary down so he could run into her again. The next movie on the list is the teen comedy American Pie. American Pie is about four high school friends who all make a pact to lose their virginity before they graduate and go off to college. Now, I never understood the premise of this movie. Why make a pact to do something that you were already trying to do to begin with? American Pie is known as one of the 90s comedies to start bringing back the raunchy teen comedy that were popular back in the late 70s and 80s. This movie franchise had multiple sequels and even a couple of spin-offs, none of which were as great as what the first American Pie movie was. The final movie on the list is Austin Powers: International Man of Mystery. Austin Powers is a comedy spoof on the widely popular James Bond series. A British spy is frozen back in the 60s and then unthawed in the 90s to help track down Dr. Evil. This movie was widely popular, and Mike Myers brought to life this character to the point where people were spouting out quotes from this movie relentlessly. And I won't make you suffer through having to hear me say them myself.
So those are the picks we have for this week's 90s comedies list. Be sure to vote for the movie that you want Matt to watch next. If you get the chance, don't forget to watch the movie yourself. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share this video with your friends, and we'll see you next time here on Movie of the Week.